welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. Scotty the Trucker coming to you somewhere from Michigan. I'm on State Route 131. Not exactly sure exactly where I am as far as being close to someplace. I just did a drop and hook at the Reed City Prime Drop Yard. It's a drop yard shared with General Mills and Yoplait. I'd been there one time before during TNT, and anyway, I did a drop and hook. So I think I'm about an hour south of there. Anyway, heading to Tennessee. And by the way, yesterday at my receiver last night evening, I got. If you happen to be watching, I was pulling out of a receiver, and I was passing a Wilson Logistics truck, and I don't remember if he honked or what, but he had put his window down and was waving pretty vigorously. I thought I was doing something wrong, or maybe my wonderful headlight that I replaced myself isn't working or something. I thought he was flagging me down. But I rolled down the window, and he said, "I just wanted to say hello." And he didn't say, "I watch your channel," or anything like that. And me not being Brad Pitt or not feeling like Brad Pitt, you know, I'm often surprised. You know, it's become kind of commonplace to be recognized at Prime terminals. But whenever I'm recognized out in the world at shippers, receivers, particularly if it's not, I mean, I know Wilson Logistics moves Prime freight, and he had a Prime trailer, but I didn't expect anyone from Wilson Logistics to be watching, aside from maybe Adam the Red from 51 Logistics, who we go way back. He has a channel too, but I know he was heading to Prime, but ended up going to Wilson Logistics instead. Check his channel out, 51 Logistics, Adam. But anyway, whoever the person was, I don't know what my reaction was. It might have just been kind of stunned. But anyway, rolled my window down thinking he was either going to yell at me or tell me something was wrong or I was doing something wrong. And instead he said, "I just wanted to say hello." And I said hi back and carried on. And then later, maybe 100 yards down the road, I'm like, he watches my channel, I imagine. So just understand, if this ever with you or anybody else, that in my head, you know, 800 people does not make for a famous person. So I'm often kind of caught off guard a little bit. But thanks for saying hi, and I'm sorry I didn't give you a better reaction. I would have liked to stop and you know, gotten to know you a little bit. But on to the video. I wasn't planning to do a video today, but and this, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm in good spirits. This week has been great. Everything's going well. Knock on plastic. So everything's going well. But this topic, I think all of my fence sitters, and again, if you're new to the channel, fence sitters is a good term here. It means you're really thinking this through before you jump in. This is not for everybody. It's one of those things that anybody can learn, but the lifestyle is not going to be for everybody. So yeah, be a fence sitter as long as you need. And this is one of those that I think you're gonna appreciate. At least I think I would have appreciated it when I was back doing all my research. I do intend to do, and I've talked about this a little bit here and there, I intend to do a money video. Not the kind that every other Prime driver out there does, where they show your check stubs and all that. Not because I'm private. It has nothing to do with that. I'm going to be as open as I can be. I've decided that that's not what I want to do, because it's completely contrary to what my purpose is here. If I had the means, I would get everybody, watch a couple of those and move on. That I remember myself just watching those ad nauseum, and churning myself up about it. You know, one guy would tell you everything's wonderful, I'm, you know, heading to Vegas with all this extra money that I'm making, and then the other one would say, you know, having trouble, it's a struggle, everything like that. Both are correct. That's the thing, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. And like I said, I'll go into more detail, but for me, I would have appreciated this a year ago. Not that any of those channels is truly nothing against any channel that decides to any person that decides to put their pay stubs out there. Just a little bit on that. A few things to be wary of with that, and again, this is not talking about anybody, just in general terms. If you are whatever, you're changing careers, you're midlife, things aren't going well, and you're thinking about going trucking, I understand why you would want to watch the pay stub videos. But there are two types of people out there that are clamoring for those type of videos. It is, just like I said, those that are really trying to weigh this important decision. And then there are the trolls. The trolls that, if you read comments, every channel that goes down the whole lease discussion path will have the trolls descend. Now, my definition of a troll is someone who basically gets their kicks off of bringing people down. In my opinion, it's someone who has difficulty articulating a thought or an argument, and therefore starts with derogatory terminology, or putting someone down to get your attention. That to me is what a troll is. Now, I'm going to shock the world here, okay? I want you to read the troll comments, because underlying them, you take away the insults and the shittiness. A lot of them have a point, or more than a point. My assumption is that if you are a lease troll, you more than likely failed at a lease, as many do, and you're likely a little disgruntled, and maybe you are coming at these videos maybe not so benevolent, but trying to get your point across that this is a minefield. Now, this is me being real with you guys. I am living right now one of my worst fears, going into this. I'm okay. I'm doing fine with it. That's going to be the ultimate point. But right now, I am in what you call the hole at Prime, and pretty deep. At one time, I was a little shy of 5,000 in the hole. I'll explain the hole, because I didn't know it didn't make sense a year ago when I was watching these videos. I couldn't understand. I'd watch someone like Driver Lineup, who I know is successful in this, and I'd hear him talking about being in the hole. I went home for a week and I'm in the hole. And that didn't make any sense to me. It's like, I know he's got money in his account, it pulls out and you move on. How are you anyway in the hole, because your account pays all that. That's the thing. At Prime, it does not. At Prime, it comes out of payroll. Basically, if you go home for a week and a half, the truck payment is always there. Your fixed costs are still coming out. But the way they do it, they don't pull anything from your account. They're not even attached to my business account. They couldn't do it if they wanted to. What they do is, through payroll, Prime basically pays everything, and you work it off. Takes, on a normal home time, a week to week and a half, at least in my short experience, you can work it off in about that same amount of time, probably closer to 2 than unless you have a stellar week. Because again, the week you're back, you have your payment and your fixed costs. So the point I wanted to make first is, pay attention. I'm not saying give the trolls attention and all that. The trolls are trolls. I'm not professing to love any trolls. I've been lucky that I haven't had a ton of them, because I haven't gone down this path much. But what I'm going to say is, a lot of them have a point underlying the bullshit, and what that point is one, that there are predatory type lease programs out there. You do need to watch. If you're not coming to Prime, you got to do your research. You got to make sure it is a true walk-away loan. You've got to look and see if they have any dumbass balloon payments at the end. Prime is the opposite. Prime, it is truly a walk-away lease. Now, you have to pay your final bills, for the week you're on, and you have to, fork over some money to get the place cleaned up and fixed up and everything for the next person. Yes, there are some charges, but they're fairly minimal, and you can truly walk away at any time. Now, saying, and that to me is a fair lease. You know, the price is fair, I think, you know. But that being said, fair does not mean everybody's going to succeed, even at prime. Now, I've lived enough setbacks, and this last one has taught me some lessons, you know, that you can fail out here. I'm telling you the truth here. You can succeed if you do the right things. A very disciplined person can do quite well in the lease at prime, lease option with prime. I'm not talking owner op, that kind of thing. I'm not going to talk about stuff that I'm not familiar with. But just pure lease. It's a fair lease, which means that a diligent, responsible adult can make it. But you come out here just thinking money, 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 and you're spending money, 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 you're gonna fail. I can tell you, if you are spending all your time at these truck stops and eating $20, you know, value meals at the, you know, the fast food, which is what they are for those of you that aren't out here. You go to a truck stop and get a, you know, a Whopper with cheese combo these days. You know, your fast food's going to be upwards of $15. Everything is exponentially more expensive out on the road because they know convenience is very important to truckers. It's not so easy to get to a Walmart and places like that. You can do it, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. So you're going to be paying almost $3 for a Pepsi. You know, that's what I'm talking about. So, all right. So yes, the trolls have some points. One is that there are predatory loans, lease programs out there. Beware. Do your homework and read the contract. If you're at other, read it at if you're at prime too. But there are some places that will stick you at the end of this, and through legalese will keep you in that truck and failing. You know, but under prime, like I said, if you're spending too much, you're going to fail. If you're not putting money away, you know, again, I'm kind of skirting the line because this is not intended to be my money video, but I can't help but kind of delve into some of the things I'm going to talk about on that one. Lost my train of thought. Let's see. Spending. Oh, putting money away. This is the other thing that I never heard anybody say. I kind of knew it, but I kind of didn't. When you're looking at my video or any of the others, remember, and this is big, you are not a person anymore when you're doing this. You are a business. So paycheck, in terms that I knew a year ago, is a weekly dependable amount, you know, for a W-2 employee. Now your paycheck goes to the business, you know, and I'm not going to get into minutia here, but very broad terms. You make whatever, you say $5,000 to the truck, and what to the truck means is that all the gross money that comes to the truck. You take out your payment, your truck payment, you take out all your fixed costs, the gas comes out, all the stuff from the week comes out. And what you have left is what they deposit into your account. Beware. And that's what a lot of these people will propose in their videos. They're like, oh, I made $2,000 this week. True, but not true at the same time. And I'm not saying anybody's trying to mislead, but I'm trying to educate that what that means. Once you got your gross income, which people call to the truck, you have your truck and all your fixed costs come out. What's left, it gets dumped into your account, and that's where the responsibility lies on you. You have to take that and put it into different buckets, or you're going to fail. You need to have some kind of a savings account or checking or whatever exclusively for your taxes. You know, this is different. You know, you're not waiting until February 14th or whatever. Not February, whatever. But anyway, you're not waiting till then. You're putting money away, and quarterly or however you have it set up, you're going to be paying the LLC tax, you know, so you have to have that bucket. And, you know, in my case, I'm dropping about 27% into that. You got another bucket, which is your Some people have an e-fund through Prime, which I'm going to do. I never set that up, but I have, in essence, the same thing. I have a business account that I've been putting, I don't know, I started off at 22 cents a mile. I'm going to up that, but I'm also going to do an e-fund of some sort. The more you put into that, the better, because that will get you through these breakdown things, you know, like I just had. But you've got to be building that up for the disasters, because the disasters are going to happen. If you don't have, and I mentioned in my breakdown videos, if you don't have a nest egg, a trucking nest egg building, you're going to fail at this. So you gotta be mindful that that check that gets dumped into your business account, yeah, you can send the whole thing home and family's going to be ecstatic, you know, biggest paycheck you've ever gotten. But if you're not putting it away for taxes and you're not putting rainy day fund for your business, you're going to hit disaster, you know. And anyway, I'm not trying to scare maybe I am kind of trying to scare people. You got to be mindful of this. The wrong mindset in lease program, you're going to end up failing. It's not going to work. You have to be disciplined. On top of that, you know, one of the things that I've been doing the last couple months, I was late to the game. It was just one thing that my trainer just didn't really go into much, was the business side of you know, lease op. And I had, you know, I don't know if it was me misinterpreting or, you know, or mistrained, I don't know, but I came out of TNT with a completely wrong view of what fuel economy and all that was about. You know, we in TNT we were 65 miles per hour all the time, go, and again, he might have been checking and doing more checking that I didn't see, but it appeared to me in TNT that basically if you went to a Love's or a Pilot or a Flying J, you're in network. Not true. You got to be careful at. I mentioned Steve a while back, a TNT trainer that I bumped into, his trainee Jeff. Hope y'all are doing good. He started me on the right road. Slow your ass down. 55 to 60 is where I live now. And he showed me the app, you know, the fuel app, map or whatever, where you can look, you know, yes, Prime will give you suggestions on your route of the one to take, but you can also choose for yourself. You can open up the Prime app and right first page, I think it's fuel and services, it'll put you right onto like a GPS map where you will see exactly which places are in network, right, where you can get that 99 cents per gallon off. Because if you are not, you are throwing money right down the toilet, which I was doing, and I didn't even know I was doing it, but I have since seen it. You just got to fine tune everything, and I'm not saying I'm all the way there. I'm working on it. You know, I've definitely got my fuel economy. I'm running pretty steadily, somewhere between 9.5 and 10 miles per gallon, which is pretty good. I went from lower on my dispatcher's miles per gallon list because I didn't go I never really liked the 65 miles an hour all the time. That wasn't me. I did it during TNT because that was kind of the expectation, but I slowed it down even from there, but I was more of a 63 guy. Now I'm 55 to 60 and I can see the results. You really can. You know, fine tuning, knowing your clock, knowing how to work, you know, recaps, so that you never have to take a 34 unless it's one that you want to take. You know, you can keep rolling. I've been good at that. I think my first week, or after my first week, was the only time I ever had to take a 34. I just ran, came out swinging, and just wanted to get there, and I had some really long days. So working your recaps, you know, instead of doing 11 hours a day, you're doing 8.5 a day, as close as that you can. If you do more, you do less than that. You try to balance it out. Again, this is not a recap video, but just throwing it out there. Understanding your 2.8, 3.7, 8.2, 7.3 split sleeper berth is game changing. Honestly, for a new driver, you know, I came out here, I'd never done any of those. We were 11 hours and switch. But it is remarkable. For one thing, totally putting money aside for a moment, if you want to make this lifestyle livable, you have to work those split bursts. That's what gives the power back to the driver to dictate when you want to drive, when you want to sleep. And again, there's always going to be variables and loads that you just can't do it. But for the most part, it gives a lot of control back to the driver. There's also times, like I was just on this load, I would not have made it if I hadn't stretched out my 14-hour day by pausing it using the split berth. Someday I'll do a split berth thing. I use it, I know it, but I'm not sure I'm ready to teach it. Freight Skater has 2 very good episodes on the whole time clock thing. Now, some of it is really complicated. It's taken me many times through watching it to get it, but all the information's there. But yeah, it gives you your life back to an extent. How many times, if you don't know this, have you gotten on a long drive shift and you've hit the wall tired wise? It's dangerous now. If you know how to use your sleeper berth, you can pull over and take a 3-hour nap and it doesn't hurt you at all. It helps. It actually will make things easier. You can stretch out that 14-hour day, take breaks when you need to, and dictate if you're going to be a night driver or a day driver. All right, back to the money thing. So I'm all over the place, and I didn't write down a single note. It was just something I've been thinking about driving down the road, so I'm sure I'm going to miss some things, and I will do a more informed money video. But I'll just kind of take you through real quick where I'm at. Like I said, there was certain, how do I put this, being in the hole, as I mentioned. Like I said, I was 4,600 or so in the hole, which is scary stuff. Think about this scenario, and it's not a 1 in a million scenario. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to me again. It's going to happen to everybody eventually. I had taken 10 days off for home time, came back, had a pretty good week, and boom, I got a breakdown, which required 2 tows. I'm not going to get into that, but 2 tows, $900 and $750, causing 5 days downtime before I got my truck back, and all of that's like basically taking another whole week off, at home. It may as well have been home time, so way in the hole. And, my brain was saying, okay, well, a couple of weeks, hard charging will get me out. Got to remember that it's still your normal week to week, your payment and your fixed costs and everything still rolls. So it's that plus getting your debts away from you. So that's where I am. I'm about halfway through that 46. I'm down to more like 2,500, something like that. It's feeling a little more manageable, but I'm doing it. It is not a pleasant place to be, but I have been building up those accounts, and they have saved me. If I had been spending a ton of money out here and not putting money away for taxes and into my business account, this might have sunk me. I might be a company driver right now. Nothing against them. Believe me, it has crossed my mind. Back just not too long ago, my old trainer, Eric, driver lineup, was talking about needing a driver for his new truck, and I hadn't hit this big obstacle, but I'd be lying if I didn't say, it might not be the worst thing in the world to do. You get the better than your normal company pay, and you don't have all the...
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
Okay, I'm sure. All right, anyway, I'm gonna call it there. Again, this was very impromptu, just something I've been thinking about down the road, that I'm living it right now, and I've always tried to be honest with you. I'm not at a point where I would come on here, even if I did a weekly, and that was another thing I wanted to say. The people, just be mindful of most of the YouTubers, and I like them all. This is, again, not a dig on anybody, but most of the people sharing their pay stubs, not all, are new drivers, ones that are maybe a little bit ahead of me, or right around where I'm at, 3 to 6 months, something like that, and that's new. Be mindful of that. A lot of stuff, for one thing, we don't know what we're doing yet. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and dwell on every word and every paycheck that someone who's brand new to this is talking about. Like I said, most of us have not learned the ins and outs of fuel economy, miles per gallon, making sure we're going always to the in-network places. Haven't mastered our clock. We're wasting time. We're doing all kinds of stuff wrong. If you glean anything from that, is if they're doing well, despite all that, it should tell you that there's money to be made out here. Just be cautious of that. Also, you never know. You can have the most honest and well-meaning YouTuber, but they're human. They may not want to put a 4-week pay stub, show out where it shows where they're not doing well. I'm just saying, I don't know if maybe they all are doing great, but usually they're pretty positive, and I know that there's disastrous weeks because I'm living it. So just take it with a grain of salt. And what does it actually tell you? There are a million variables in how much those pay stubs come out to be. The way you run, if you're a hard charger, if you're someone who takes a lot of home time, it honestly, to me, looking back now, like I said, I'll admit I was one of those that wanted to watch them all the time. In hindsight, there's very little to be gleaned from listening to those things unless you just take the whole picture, and that tells you one thing overall: most of them are making money. Just take it for what it is there, and understand the point is not how much that check is, because like I said, that check needs to be divided into different buckets. One of those buckets is home, but you got to be careful when people are saying I'm making $1,500, $2,000 a week. Yeah, they are. They likely aren't lying, but make sure that they're telling you the whole picture, or that you're at least aware that money that Prime dumped into your account has got to be dropped into 2 or 3 buckets, and you choose how much goes into each one of those. You can make the family real happy, by putting most of it into there and saying, oh, I'll just be light on the business account, or I'll skip the tax this week, I want to make my family happy. Just be careful of that. That paycheck is not a paycheck. You're not a person anymore. You're a business, and that business has a few buckets that money has to get dispersed in. So my moral of the story is that pay attention. I shouldn't say pay attention to the trolls, because the trolls are trolls because they're obnoxious and they're a-holes. But the message behind it, there are some points to be made, and I'm trying to make those in a respectful manner. You can come out here, and Prime is fair as everything I've seen in success leasing, training, everything. Prime has not failed me. They've been exactly what they profess to be, and everything has been fair. And I am making money out here. I'm not complaining. I'm making money despite this setback. I feel good about where I'm going. But this channel, yes, I've always said I'm never going to tell anybody you need to come to Prime. Prime is an option when you're in a situation like I was. It's a good option. As far as I've seen, it's a great place to work. Everything's been fair. It's been exactly as advertised, but it's not for everybody. Okay, so I'm never going to say that. If you choose to come to Prime and you get anything from my videos, absolutely, I'd be honored if you use my referral code, which I very quietly usually put it most of my videos at the beginning. I don't really promote it much. I'm going to do a video on my thoughts on the referral code. I'm not ashamed of it. Like some YouTubers will, they don't like to even mention the referral code because they think it's something dirty. I don't hate money, and it's God, I'm going off another tangent. It's a win-win-win for the 3 players, you, me, and Prime. We're all happy in the end, so I'll talk about that some other time. All right, so another big money episode to come where I'll fill in any gaps that I didn't say here. But for now, this is not a negative video. This is a wake up, and my fence sitters, you need to weigh this. You can do it, but you got to be smart. You cannot come out here and just think the money's going to fall from the sky, and that if you're not responsible about it, that you're going to continue in the lease op. You can fail at prime easily, you know, if you don't have the right mindset. So anyway, I'll leave it there. This is one of my longer ones, but it's one of the things that I've become a little passionate about lately. You know, I'm living one of the nightmares, although it's not so bad. You know, you do the right thing. I'm going to be out of this in a week or two, you know, knock on wood, as long as the disasters befall me. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great whatever today is. I think it's Friday, and I hope you're well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.